Long time ago, in a village surrounded by dense forests and flowing rivers, lived a beautiful girl named Misoma. Her mother had died mysteriously when she was young, leaving her father, Obi, to raise her. Obi, a respected businessman, remarried after 2 years, hoping to provide Misoma with a loving mother figure. But his new wife, Mabel, harbored a deep resentment towards the girl, and she worked very hard to eliminate Misoma so that she can have full control over Mr. Obi's family. By day, Mabel played the part of a dutiful wife, but when Misoma's father was away attending to his business, her true nature revealed itself. She would hiss venomous words, her eyes narrowing as she gave Misoma impossible tasks. Misoma, Mabel called one day, her voice dripping with false sweetness. Fetch water from the well across the valley, and don't return until you've filled all jars to the brim. You will eat only when you have filled all the jars. Misoma, always obedient, took the jar and set off on the long journey. The path was rocky, and her feet ached, but she persevered, returning only after sunset, exhausted and trembling. Instead of praise, Mabel met her with a sneer. "Pathetic," she spat. "You're slower than a tortoise. Next time, be quicker, or you'll have nothing to eat for days." Misoma bit back her tears, too frightened to speak. She knew her father loved her, but she also knew he was blind to her stepmother's cruelty. The villagers, though sympathetic, dared not intervene. Mabel's smile was as sharp as a knife, and no one wanted to be its target. One fateful day, Obi announced he would be traveling to a distant village to trade. He kissed Misoma on the forehead. "Be good, my child. Listen to your mother. You know she loves you." Misoma nodded, her heart heavy with dread as she watched him disappear into the distance. As soon as he was gone, Mabel's face twisted into a sinister grin. "Miso, my dear," Mabel began, her voice sickly sweet. "I have a task for you. Deep in the forest, there grows a rare herb that is said to bring wealth and prosperity. You must go and fetch it." Mabel's intention was to eliminate Misoma through this task. Misoma hesitated. "But mother, I don't know the way." "You will do as I say," Mabel snapped, her eyes flashing dangerously. "Or would you rather face my wrath?" Shaking and swallowing her fear, Misoma agreed. Mabel handed her a small, empty basket. "Bring the herb before sunset, or don't return at all." With a heavy heart and tears in her eyes, Misoma ventured into the forest. The trees towered above her, their branches blocking out the sun. As she walked deeper, the forest grew darker, and the sounds of the village faded into silence. Soon, she realized she was hopelessly lost. "Mother, where have you sent me?" Misoma whispered, her voice trembling. She wandered for hours, the shadows growing longer as night approached. Despair began to creep in, and she fell to her knees by the edge of a dark, still lake, tears streaming down her face. "Please, someone help me," she sobbed, and when her tear dropped into the stream, suddenly, the water in the lake began to ripple, and a soft light emerged from its depths. Misoma gasped as a figure rose from the water, a beautiful spirit with eyes as deep as the ocean and a voice as gentle as the wind. "Why do you cry, child?" the spirit asked, her voice soothing Misoma's fears. Misoma wiped her tears and explained everything, starting from how her mother died mysteriously to her stepmother's cruelty, the impossible task, and her fear of never finding her way home. The spirit listened, her expression growing stern. "Your heart is pure, Misoma. You have been wronged, but you must not let fear guide you. Take this stone," the spirit said, offering a small, glowing pebble. "It will lead you home and reveal the truth hidden in darkness. But remember, you must be brave and confront what lies ahead." Misoma took the stone, its warmth giving her strength. "Thank you," she whispered, bowing her head in gratitude. The spirit smiled gently before disappearing back into the lake, leaving Misoma alone with the glowing stone. It pulsed with a soft light, guiding her steps as she retraced her path through the forest. Before long, she emerged from the trees and found herself back at the edge of the village. The villagers were surprised and watched from afar. As she approached her home, the stone's glow intensified. Mabel was waiting by the door, her face twisted in a scowl. "So, you've returned," she sneered. "Where is the herb?" Misoma stood tall, clutching the stone. "There was no herb, Mother. Only lies." Mabel's eyes widened, but she quickly masked her surprise. "You dare speak to me like that, you ungrateful brat?" But Misoma was no longer afraid. She held the stone higher, its light shining directly on Mabel. Suddenly, the air around them grew cold, and a wind howled through the village. The stone's light revealed Mabel's true nature, her face contorted into a monstrous form, her eyes blazing with malice. The villagers, drawn by the commotion, gathered around, gasping in horror as they saw Mabel's transformation. "She's a witch," one elder exclaimed. "She's cursed our village with her wickedness." Mabel shrieked, her voice echoing through the night. "No, I am the one wronged. It's her fault. It is her mother's fault. Yes, her mother thinks she can get everything good while I am left alone. I killed her to marry Obi, the man of my dream." She pointed a gnarled finger at Misoma, but it was too late. The village's shaman stepped forward, his staff raised. "Enough. Your evil has been exposed. You will not harm this child or anyone else ever again." He began to chant, his words resonating with power. Mabel tried to flee, but the villagers blocked her path, their faces set with determination. The shaman's spell wrapped around Mabel like a net, dragging her towards the forest. "No! No!" Mabel screamed, but her cries were drowned out by the wind. With one final burst of light, she was banished, her form disappearing into the shadows of the trees, never to return. The villagers turned to Misoma, their expressions softening. "You have saved us from a great evil," the shaman said, placing a hand on her shoulder. "Your courage has restored peace to our village." Misoma smiled, though her heart ached for her father's pain. When Obi returned, he was devastated to learn of his wife's true nature, but he held Misoma close, vowing to never let anyone harm her again. Misoma grew into a wise and strong woman, beloved by the village. She kept the glowing stone as a reminder of the night she found her courage and the truth that no darkness could ever overcome the light of a pure heart. Moral lesson: darkness and deceit may hide in plain sight, but truth and courage will always bring it to light. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow my Instagram and Facebook pages for more educative stories. Remain blessed.